and we're going to get started with my colleagues from Pitt Eats to tell us all about dining on campus. Rose, I'm going to turn the virtual stage over to you.
Thank you, Summer. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Rose Basso. I am the Director of Dining Services on behalf of the university. In my role, I oversee all of the food and beverage contracts. I am also a Pitt parent to a junior and to an incoming first year. Yay! With me, I have our food service partners from Chartwells, and together we make Pitt Eats. So I'm going to turn it over to Maggie.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Rose. I am very excited to be here today to talk about dining and the wonderful program that we run on campus. I am Maggie, the marketing director for Pitt Eats. So today I'll jump into the presentation. We're going to sort of talk about meal plans, how to best use your meal plan, what all the different meal plan options are for your students, and how to get the most out of your meal plan. And then I will turn it over to our dietitian on campus, registered dietitian, Lindsay Wilson, to cover some of her pieces of the program and resources that are available to our students before we jump into Q&A. So I always like to start off presentations by talking about what is Pitt Eats. So if you're walking around campus, if you're in our dining spaces, you'll see our logo, Pitt Eats. We are, your go-to resource, your students' go-to resource for all things dining on campus. We cover a ton of different spaces on campus, from dining halls to food courts. We have the markets. We cover the Peterson Event Center concessions, and we also do campus catering. And we're made up of a team of people who really just love food, chefs, managers, all kinds of folks who just really look forward to providing great dining experiences every day. I do want to point out before we move on that you'll see the QR code in the corner and on a number of these slides that takes you to Dine on Campus. Dine on Campus, I'll talk about it a little bit more later, but it is really our full resource for all things dining. So if you're looking for anything more on a specific topic, I recommend you scan that QR code and poke around and see what you can find on Dine on Campus. So we're going to start with perhaps the biggest piece of dining on campus, your meal membership, which unlocks dining all across campus. So some of you may have heard that this fall we're launching brand new meal plans. These meal plans were created and we changed from previous plans due to student feedback that we heard about our plans. The plans that we previously had, students felt that they limited the flexibility that they had to fit with their busy schedules. So these new plans, which I'll go through every piece of them, they're really built to be more flexible and meet student demand for plans that they can, they want to be able to eat where they want, when they want. And that's really what we looked at with these plans. So some of the key changes are that we have some brand new types of plans. Those are block plans and the all-day access plans. Like I said, I'll dive into those and some more specifics about them later. Then each plan has higher dining dollar amounts. This was designed to match the current student preferences on campus that we've seen and dining habits that we see in our student body today. And then meal exchange. So this is a new program instead of meal swap that offers more value and more flexibility within an exchange program in our retail locations across campus. I will dive much deeper into that as well. But to start, let's talk about full access plans. So these plans are going to be the best value of a meal plan on campus. You really have, somewhat unlimited access to the campus dining program. With each full access plan, you get one meal swipe every hour into one of our all-you-care-to-eat dining halls, the Eatery or the Perch. You get a daily meal exchange. Then you get 10 flex meals that you can use for yourself, friends, or family. If you have a friend or a guest visiting you, you can use one of your flex meals to get them in. And then there are 3 tiers of these plans. So each plan comes with dining dollars, and the different tiers are based on that different dining dollar amount. So we have a full access plus 150, which is 150 dining dollars, then 300 dining dollars, and 500 dining dollars. These plans are one of the required options for first-year residents, students, and then upper class and commuter students are welcome to choose this plan if it's something that they're looking for. The next type of meal plan we have is the Weekly 14. This is a brand new plan this year. Again, like I said, really designed to meet students' asks for more flexibility within their dining. So this plan is just 14 meals per week. You can use them as meal exchanges at retail restaurants across locations on campus or as meal swipes into the Eatery and the Perch, our all-you-care-to-eat dining facilities. An hour delay does apply between those swipes, and they all reset at midnight. So if you choose to, eat 3 times a day on Monday, you want a breakfast, lunch, and dinner on campus, then just know you have 11 meals left through the weekend until those meals reset at Sunday at midnight. This plan also comes with $500 dining dollars and again, 10 flex meals to use for yourself, a guest, a friend, whoever you want to bring with you. This is also a required option for first-year students and for upper class residents as well. Again, upper class residents can also choose a full access plan. If your student is a first year and you're trying to think, what's the right plan for me to choose? When we talk about this, at admitted students days and we're talking with students, we really recommend you think about your dining habits. Do you think you're going to want to eat 3 meals a day? Maybe the weekly 14 isn't the best fit for you because you're limited to 14 meals per week. Are you looking for a lot of snacks in between your meals? Do you like to get a morning coffee? Maybe then that's a clue that you should look for a plan with a higher dining dollar amount. So we always recommend to really take a look at what you eat in a day, what your habits are, and then build the right plan for you and pick the right plan based on those factors. Now we move into some more new plans. So our other new sort of category of plans this year are the block plans. These offer maximum flexibility. So with every block plan, and we have 3 tiers of those, you can see you get a set number of meals per semester. We call them blocks. So with the block 145, you have 145 meals. The block 90, you have 90 meals, and the block 50 is 50 meals. And those you can use as meal exchanges or meal swipes into the eatery or the perch. So this is really that, flexibility to eat where you want, when you want. There is a limit of 5 blocks per day that you can use, but you can choose where you eat, when you want to eat. It's really maximum flexibility. The block 145 and the block 90 are options for upper class resident students. And then, of course, as I've mentioned, commuters can choose any plan. The block 50 is a great option if you're a commuter student looking for a set number of meals that you can use within a semester. Our final type of plan here are the all-day access plans. So these are a brand new plan that we created this year. Again, just keeping flexibility in mind. I feel like I'm a little bit of a broken record talking about flexibility, but that really was how we designed these plans. So this plan lets you choose which days you eat on campus. So essentially with the 40 all-day access or the 75 all-day access, you get that number of days of a full access plan on campus. So that means when you swipe into a dining hall in the morning, you would activate your plan for that day. And then you would have what every other full access member gets. You get 1 swipe every hour into the eatery or the perch. You get a set number of dining dollars that you can use and 1 meal exchange per day. So it's great. I like to use this example. If you're a student who's on campus all day, maybe from like 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., Tuesdays and Wednesdays, or Tuesdays and Wednesday, Thursday, and you don't want to have to worry about packing a meal. You don't want to have to think about where you're going to eat. You just want to be able to grab something and go. This might be a great option because you have built-in days where you'll be able to access all of dining across campus, no matter where you are on Pitt's campus. So you'll be able to swipe into the eatery, the perch. You can use your meal exchange. You can use your dining dollars. It's great to work around busy schedules or full days on campus. Now diving into some more fun things, sort of all about your meal membership. So I always like to talk through these pieces. I mentioned a lot of things about meal exchange and meal swipe, flex meals. So we're going to go into all of that now, starting with the meal exchange, as you can see on this slide. So this is really a more flexible, valuable model of the meal swap. They're high value combos available at retail locations across campus. When we were designing these, we sat down with students, we did some focus groups, we asked questions of what do you want to see that you're not getting right now on the meal swap. And a lot of that was flexibility within these combos. Predictable value, that's something that the meal exchange offers. So flexibility, convenience, predictable value, those are all things that we're looking at when we designed these. So we actually incorporated some new products. You'll be able to choose, you can see on the True Burger sample up there, whether you want a drink and a side or 2 sides instead of that drink. If you're carrying a water bottle with you, that's something that we heard from students. And offering, some maybe healthier choices for the sides. Maybe you don't always want fries with your burger, but now you'll be able to choose a crudité cup for your side as well. So we've talked to students, and this is, based on that feedback, we've really developed new combos at all retail locations across campus to match current preferences. Now, the big one, meal swipe versus meal exchange. So I've said both of these when I've talked about the meal plans. There's one big difference, and that the meal swipe is that swipe into the eatery, the perch, one of our all-you-care-to-eat dining halls. And then the meal exchange, as I was just talking about, is a swipe at one of the retail locations on campus for one of those set combos. So when you talk about where you're going to eat, you can use meal swap meal swipe or meal exchange to define those. Then dining dollars. So most plans come with dining dollars. These are what we like to call your meal membership currency. They are good to use at any dining location on campus. And when you use them at a non-national brand, you get a small 10% discount. There's no added sales tax when you use dining dollars. So there's some perks to using them. And then you do get 75% of those with the meal plan that are allocated for on-campus use, and then 25% that are allocated for off-campus use. So there's some partner restaurants down on Forbes and in the Oakland community that you can use that 25% allocation at. And there's a full list on Panther Central if you're interested in learning more about that program. But it is a fun way to get out into the neighborhood a little bit more. And then we have flex meals. So as I've said, these are just meals that come with your plan. If you have a family member, if you as a parent or family member are visiting a student on campus and want to check out a dining hall, want to see, the combo that they've raved about at a certain location on campus, they can use a flex meal for you. And you can be, dine with them in their dining halls that they dine at every day. A great thing about this program is that if there are extra flex meals at the end of a semester on your student's dining plan, they can donate them to the Pitt Pantry, and that has been a great partnership with them. Now, moving into dining on campus. So these are ways that I like to talk about our many locations on campus. So with your meal plan, you really unlock the full Pitt Eats experience, if you will. So we have over 40 locations on campus, including our 2 all-you-care-to-eat dining halls, the Eatery and the Perch, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a few minutes. We have 3 campus markets, the Market at Towers, which is a 24-hour frictionless market. So if your student's hungry for a sandwich at 3 a.m., they can walk down to the Market at Towers and get one. It's always available. Forbes Street Market, which is our local urban-style grocery market, which offers everything from, deli case, chef-crafted foods to some grocery and pantry items. And then the Market at Sutherland, which is up on Upper Campus. And we have 4 food courts, which feature everything from pizza to sandwiches to smoothies to salads, anything you could be looking for. And then 9+ coffee shops. Everybody needs a little caffeine break every once in a while. And so we like to say that you can find that, almost wherever you are on campus. Just to talk a little bit more about the Eatery, this is our recently renovated dining hall that's located in Litchfield Towers. The Eatery was recently renovated in August of 2024 and is a really unique model of what campus dining can look like. It provides a residential and retail experience. There's 11 different concepts within the Eatery as a whole. There's 3 retail concepts and then 8 stations in the all-you-care-to-eat portion of the area. So we have a coffee shop there called Unwind that serves house roasted coffee and house made gelato. We have the Market at Towers, our 24-hour market, the Delicatessen, which is our kosher location on campus that Lindsay will talk more about. And then within the all-you-care-to-eat dining hall, we have 8 different stations that offer a variety of different cuisines. You can see them in the video that's playing here. There's everything from your campus deli to an Asian-inspired concept to our Latin American-inspired concept. We really, you get a great variety out of those concepts at the Eatery. And that is, like I said, one of the all-you-care-to-eat locations on campus that you would use a meal swipe at. And then we have the Perch. This is our other all-you-care-to-eat dining hall on campus. The Perch is located in Sutherland Hall. And the Perch is sort of more of your traditional dining. They have some great eats every day. Think deli station. They have a grill station. There's pasta. There's some globally inspired eats coming in. And then they also have Flourish pantries. So what I didn't mention, but Lindsay will talk about later, is that we have a allergen-friendly location on campus called Flourish, which is free of the top 9 allergens. So there's a full Flourish station in the Eatery, which is one of our stations inside that all-you-care-to-eat area. And then the Perch has a pantry, which is great for grab-and-go options for students that are in need of those items. And then I always like to call out some of our favorites and some of our new locations on campus to sort of walk through the dining program. New this year was the Recreation and Wellness Center. In this location, we opened up 3 new concepts. We have Edamame, which is a poke restaurant. We have Recharge Cafe, which is fuel-focused, sort of nutrient-dense, almost diner eats. And then we have Squeezed, which is fresh juices and smoothies. Down in on lower campus, in between Posbar and Hillman, we have our 2 campus food trucks, which are one of student favorite locations on campus. There's Ethel's, which is a version of a diner in an Airstream home. It's very cool. If you have not seen it when you pass campus, highly recommend to stop at Ethel's. And then there's Smokeland Barbecue down there, which is our house smoked barbecue. When this opens up in the spring and during the season. It is packed. Students love Smokeland. It's a great stop. Their food is fantastic. And then, like I mentioned, we have Forbes Street Market, which is a great campus resource, serving everything from prepared foods. They have a coffee and bakery section, and then those grocery items. And coming soon is the Cathedral Cafe. So we're renovating the cafe that was in the bottom floor of the Cathedral of Learning. And we're bringing in some new concepts, revamping some old favorites into this location. So we'll have Cathedral Handhelds and Pizza, which is a concept that uses focaccia base from one of our chefs that had been on campus, leaving a legacy focaccia recipe for us. So we use that recipe to make the base of some pizzas and then do some artisan sandwiches. We'll have the Roost, which is a campus staple. Everyone loves the Roost, and they're coming back with their classics, their campus favorites, and a couple of new items. And then the One Sushi, which is our sushi vendor on campus, they will have fresh made sushi available there, and then bowls, poke bowls, and some sides and things as well. So we're really excited that this project is moving, and we're excited to talk about it more as it comes closer. The last thing before I turn it over to Lindsay is just how to maximize your meal plan. I think this is great sort of tips and tricks, how to get the most out of your meal plan, how for your student to get the most out of your meal plan. First is our dining apps. These are apps that I always like to tell every student to download the second they step on campus and start using their meal plan. The first is Dine on Campus. This is a mobile version of that resource I've been talking about. It has menus, it has dining hours, it has a campus map. Everything that you could want about dining is going to be on that app. So often students use it to check the daily menus, decide where they want to eat. It is a great download to have on your phone if you're going to be a meal membership holder. The next is Transact Mobile. That is our campus mobile ordering app. This is great. Again, if you're on the go, want a quick meal, you can mobile order it ahead, stop by the location, pick it up, and be on your way. We also offer some fun rewards through Transact Mobile. So if you're interested in getting some perks for placing orders and using your meal plans, that is a great resource for you to have. And then we have Useful. This is our plastic-free takeout program that we offer in the eatery, the Perch, the coffee shops, the rec center, and coming soon to more locations on campus. If you're looking, especially in the all you care to eat facilities, if you're looking to take meals to go, this is a great option for you to be a little bit more sustainable about it. It works. It's really cool. It works like a library card where you check out a container with an app on your phone. And then all you have to do is return it at our return receptacles on campus and drop it in a bin. We clean it for you, and you can just go ahead and check out a new one and get on your way. If you scan that QR code, that'll take you to an app download, a link tree that has download buttons for all of those apps. I've been talking about Dine on Campus, I feel like, a lot. Again, this is just a great resource for all things dining on campus. Updates, feedback form is on there. We have job opportunities, meal plan info, everything about meal plan is going to be on that website. So we definitely recommend you check out the website, download the app, or do both. And then events. These are always fun for me to talk about. Just another way where you can, your student can make the most out of their meal plan. We host all kinds of pops of joy, as we like to call them, in our dining spaces on campus, just to bring some fun energy and new things to campus. Some of our favorites from this year were we did DIY like tea bags where students could fill their own tea bags and then steep it in the dining halls. We did sort of fill your own cannolis with our pastry chef, as well as legacy events like late night breakfast, which is, a late night menu in the dining hall of all breakfast foods. We have a Friendsgiving every year. So there's always tons of fun things going on in the dining hall. And that brings me to my stay in the loop transition, where I say follow us on social media. This is where we talk about everything from meal plan education. You have student point of view walkthroughs of dining locations, or how to use this, or what's new, if you're interested in that. And we also announce all of our events on social media. So it is a great resource to have if you're interested in following us. You can scan that QR code to be taken to our Instagram, and we hope to see your follow there. And I am going to pass it on to Lindsay to talk through some student resources.
Thank you, Maggie. Hello, everyone. My name is Lindsay Wilson, and I am the registered dietitian with Pitt Eats. My job within dining includes everything from staff training and individual student consultations to creating educational opportunities on campus for students to learn more about nutrition and wellness. So when working with our chefs on crafting dining menus, we aim to provide offerings that align with the trending food service landscape while also satisfying the wide range of special dietary concerns and needs that we see within our Pitt campus community. However, despite our diverse menu offerings, we do recognize that some students may need additional assistance whenever they're dining on campus. So to help work towards this, I am available for free nutrition consultations for any Pitt student on a meal plan. Through these one-on-one meetings, I can work to help students determine the dining strategy that best meets their individual needs. The focus of my interactions with students is on how they can access safe and appropriate dining options. However, please know that there is also a registered dietitian within Pitt Student Health Services who can work with students in a more in-depth manner that extends beyond the dining halls. This includes situations like disordered eating, general weight management, and support with the clinical management of any health and wellness goals. So regardless of your students' needs, we have resources on campus to help facilitate a safe and supportive transition into college life. So we recommend that all students with medical dietary restrictions, such as food allergies and celiac disease, connect directly with me to become fully aware of the information and resources needed to make informed and safe food choices. One of the big resources we have available is our online menu. So students can see what is available at each meal service, as well as look ahead at upcoming days to help them make informed decisions about where and what they want to eat on campus. The online menus not only contain a list of the menu offerings, but you can also view full nutrition facts for items that are being served. This includes calorie counts as well as both macro and micronutrient amounts for things like carbohydrates, protein, fiber, and much more. Additionally, you can also find basic ingredient listings for menu items on our website as well. And with this information, you can access all of that on the Dine on Campus website that Maggie mentioned earlier. And this can be found under the What's on the Menu tab. As also mentioned, you can download that on the Dine on Campus app from the App Store. And that's really just a more mobile friendly way that you can access that information on the go. So when viewing the online menus, and honestly via any of our platforms, you'll notice that there are certain icons next to menu items. So these icons are a quick reference guide to certain dietary properties that can help students make those informed decisions. The icons that we do display are vegetarian, vegan, avoiding gluten, as well as a good source of protein. So foods that are labeled vegetarian do not contain any animal meats, but may contain dairy or eggs. For vegetarian options on campus, they're readily available at every meal period within the dining halls and at every location across campus. Items that are labeled as vegan do not contain animal products or their byproducts. At the Perch, our rooted station within that facility is completely dedicated to being vegan friendly. And you'll find a vegan protein, grain, as well as vegetable at that station. And we make it a point that all items being served will have at least 15 grams of protein per meal. Within the eatery, we don't have a single designated vegan station. However, we have worked vegan and vegetarian entrees and side dishes into every single station throughout the facility. You can find things like daily pizza options, pasta, vegan pasta with marinara. There's always a plant-based breakfast sausage in the morning at breakfast, as well as a tofu scramble. And then our other stations contain a wide variety of fresh vegetables, legumes, seeds, as well as daily staples like tofu. For our avoiding gluten icon, that one is designated for items that do not contain gluten containing ingredients. And so what that means is that the ingredients themselves are labeled as gluten-free. However, please note that because we handle products that contain gluten within our kitchens, menu items cannot be designated as gluten-free, hence why you see the AG or avoiding gluten icon, meaning that cross-contact is possible with those items within our kitchens. And finally, the last icon is the PR icon. That designate menu items that are good sources of protein, whether it be animal or plant-based. So with this, all of those items that have that icon will have to have at least 7 grams of protein or more per serving. Next slide, please. So with these online menus, they provide those ingredient lists that we're looking for, as well as the icons, but we have that information displayed in multiple other locations as well. So with the menu information that you find, we have that via that Dine on Campus website, the Dine on Campus app. You'll also find those icons and information via the Transact mobile ordering app. Our digital menu boards above the serving lines within the dining halls have those same icons available. You'll also find information on individually packaged items within our retail spaces, as well as what you see here on the screen, what we call our product identifiers. And so those are little cards that are on the menus or on the actual serving stations next to menu items. So all that information can be found in numerous places. One thing that I wanted to clarify with the ingredient information that we provide, whether it be through the online menu or any of the apps, is that we display what we call main ingredients. So these main ingredients can be defined as single ingredients, such as things like fresh fruits or vegetables, or they could be items that are made from multiple ingredients that we prepare in-house, such as something like a homemade chicken noodle soup. And you'll also see ingredients for items that will have multiple ingredients as they're purchased. So something like a hamburger bun that comes as is. So those would be what we call main ingredients. What we don't display are sub ingredients. So for example, within that hamburger bun, that would be, the wheat flour as well as the B vitamins and other things that are fortified within that. So these ingredients can be displayed in a variety of places that are all aforementioned. Keeping in mind though that whenever you see anything that is a main ingredient and has more information or sub ingredients with it, you'll notice a little caret icon that's associated with that. It's kind of a little upward symbol. So that is going to serve as notification to our guests that those items contain additional sub ingredients that are not currently listed. There will also be a disclaimer statement that's there as well that recommends that guests contact a chef or manager for further information if they have questions about specific ingredients such as food allergens. So that leads into who you should contact for that information. So those would be our ingredient experts. So our ingredient experts are here to answer all of the ingredient allergen questions that students and guests may have. So we do encourage that any guest who has a food-related medical condition or any sort of dietary restriction to tap into those ingredient experts. And those are dedicated salaried associates who complete thorough food allergy training that is fair check criteria certified for handling food allergy awareness foods. So the Fair Check training program was developed by the Food Allergy Research and Education team, who works on behalf of the 32 million Americans with food allergies, including those at risk for life-threatening anaphylaxis. So with those ingredient experts, they go through annual training that is very detailed on how to read ingredient lists, as well as how to handle food to avoid cross-contact. So if you have any further questions about specific allergens that are in food items or specific ingredients, they can go ahead and pull product labels for you so that they can give you real-time information about what may or may not be contained in any particular recipe. So they're a great resource for any of our students who need support with making appropriate dining choices. So all of those are great resources for students to tap into, but let's switch over and review a few of the actual dining options that are available on campus. One of our main options is our Flourish station. So Flourish, the actual station is within the eatery, and it's dedicated to foods that are prepared without the 9 major food allergens. This does include milk, wheat, eggs, soy, peanuts, tree nuts, fish, shellfish, and sesame, quite the mouthful, as well as gluten. So all of those things are avoided at that station. You can also find a Flourish pantry on upper campus, as Maggie mentioned, within the Perch. So with the Flourish station at the eatery, it is a full service station that we have available that has rotating hot items at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as many complimentary items, including things like non-dairy milks and gluten-free breads, cereal options, even desserts. Whereas the pantry at the Perch has items that are more complementary to service. So things like those same breads, bagels, cereals, oatmeal, non-dairy milks, and the such. For students who are looking for hot meal options at the Perch, we do have a separate process in place to provide students with access to a pre-order menu of specialty items that we can have our team there at the Perch prepare to order for them. So if you are living on upper campus and need any support like that, please reach out to me so that we can get that process started. We do work with our Disability Resources and Services office on campus to provide any needed accommodations to students for any medical-based dietary needs. So just reach out if you have any questions or need further assistance. Additionally, we have our delicatessen station, which is located within the eatery proper, so right outside of the eatery main dining hall. And with the delicatessen, that is a certified kosher and halal concept. So we do work with a third party who prepares those certified meals offsite. And then we have someone who oversees those meals on site to make sure that all of the appropriate dietary laws are being followed so that we can offer those kosher and halal options to students. That same provider also has some grab and go options that that they package and we make available at all of our markets on campus, whether that be Forbes Street Market, Sutherland Market, or Towers Market. So we do have options available all across campus. For additional halal options, we do have certain halal certified proteins available within the dining halls. Specifically at the eatery, we have our saffron station with dedicated halal proteins, as well as things like halal chicken tenders that are made to order at the food truck. And we have similar options available at the perch as well. Please reach out if you'd like to learn more on specific options and availability. So those are a few of the locations that we have available. And I know this is a lot of information to digest. So we do have all this information put together in some wonderful printed and digital resources for you. So we do have our Navigating Food Allergies and Special Diets guide that is accessible if you'd like to reach out to me via email. I can go ahead and get that sent to you. But please do not hesitate to reach out at any time. If I can help or support in any way, even if it's answering a simple question, all the way down to helping to put an accommodation in place. We are here to help and support, and there's always something that we can do for you to make dining on campus a little easier. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Lindsay. We do have some questions coming in that we're going to answer live. One of them specifically is about dining dollars. What are they? How do they work? What is their benefit? So Maggie, do you want to answer that, please?
Yes, I do. So dining dollars, like I said sort of earlier, are extra funds, not extra funds, but your meal membership currency is what I say all the time. They're added funds onto your meal plan that aren't a meal swipe or a meal exchange. They're a separate allotment of funds that are good to use at any dining location on campus. When you use them, there is a 10% discount at non-national brands, and there's no sales tax. So that's the real benefit to using them, is that you get those discounts when you use dining dollars. But they're great for, like I said, things that aren't a meal swipe or a meal exchange. So you can use them for coffee. You can use them for any a la carte item. You can use them at any of the markets for snacks, things to stock your dorm with. They're available for all of those other purchases that wouldn't be a meal, if you will. If there's follow-up questions, I'm happy to ask. But the other thing to note about dining dollars is that if you keep your same plan from the fall to the spring, or you pick a higher tier plan, your dining dollars will roll over. If you drop a tier of your meal plan, those dining dollars will not roll over from fall to spring. And then no dining dollars roll over from spring to the next fall. So no dining dollars roll over summer.
Great, thank you. Okay, so we have a question about, can you change your meal plan mid-semester or mid-year? Meal plans can be changed during the add drop period. Very similar to classes. I believe this year it's September 4th. It is, the actual date is on the academic calendar, but you can change your meal plan up through the add drop period. And then at that point, there are no more changes to the meal plan. We have a question about, is it mandatory to pick a meal plan for a freshman student? So undergrad students living on campus in resident halls are required to have a meal plan, and they are specific to where you live. Let's see what else we have. We have questions about meal plan pricing. The meal plan prices are on the Dine on Campus website. If we can, Maggie, do you have a screenshot of the QR code again that maybe people can scan and check that out?
Excuse me while I go through this. Oh, there's one. Yep. So if you scan that code, it'll take you to Dine on Campus.
Is the dining dollars per semester per year? So dining dollars, again, are part of the meal plan, and they are per semester. The meal plan is for your fall semester, and then there'll be a separate meal plan for your spring semester. Can you add dining dollars as you need it? Maggie, do you want to answer that?
You can. So we have a couple different options for that. We have two dining dollar only plans, one for 350 and one for 500. Those are available to purchase, but then smaller increments are available to purchase on Dine on campus. Oh, excuse me, Panther Central as well.
Great. And so questions about the hour swipe delay. Can you speak to that as well?
Yeah, I saw a question come in and ask if that means students can eat more than 3 times a day. And yes, you can eat
Absolutely.
it's like 14 times a day if you
Correct. Yeah.
swipe every hour. And that's why we say the full access plans are the best value, because even if you eat 3 times a day on the full access plan, each meal equates to just under $9. So it really is a high value plan, but you can eat, include your meal exchange in that, and it's, up to like 14 times a day or as many hours as the eatery is open, the eatery and the perch.
And then can you explain the difference between meal swipe and meal exchange again, please?
Yes, let me just go back to that slide. I think it's nice to have oh, excuse me. Yeah, it's nice to have a visual. So a meal swipe is something that is used only in those all you care to eat dining halls. So we only call something a meal swipe when you're going into the eatery or the perch. If you're using if you're getting a meal at a retail restaurant, that is a meal exchange. And those are those high value combos. So what we recommend students do when they're looking in their retail locations is look for this meal exchange logo that you can see up here to denote where the combos are and what, is in that combo. But a meal swipe is really only when you go into the eatery or the perch.
Great. Okay, let's see here. The best plan for first year student. So on July 29th, we are having a webinar that is specific to first years, and it'll focus on the first year meal plans. But again, each student is very different. So we could, like Maggie's team or Lindsay can work with you to figure out which meal plan would work best for your individual student. And then let's see here. Students living in a suite, are they required to have a meal plan? In your housing portal and on your will indicate which type of meal plan is needed based on your living accommodation. And a suite does require a meal plan. I don't see anything else coming through.
I just saw a question come in, deadline for fall is when, so that would be add drop.
Right. So meal plans can be changed up through add drop.
Oh, and there's another question in there about meal exchanges being once a day. Can dining dollars be used at the same locations as you would a meal exchange? Yes. And there's no limit to the dining dollar amount that you can use in a day. I want to make that clear. And dining dollars can be used to get a full meal, but they can also be used for smaller things that aren't a full meal. So that is really like full menus available to you with dining dollars, and you can pick sort of a la carte options as you choose.
Maggie, do you want to speak to again the difference between the all you care to eat and the retail, what we consider retail, the restaurants?
Yeah, so all you care to eat dining halls are exactly that. You swipe in, and then you have access to all the food in that location, every station, every dish, as much as you want. You can eat as much as you want in those dining halls. The retail locations are everything outside of the eatery and the perch. So that's where you would use your meal exchange and just get a set, meal combo for that, or use your dining dollars to get an a la carte menu item. Think that more as like, I can use our Chick-fil-A on campus. Our Chick-fil-A on campus is like a Chick-fil-A out in the real world, and that is what we would consider like a retail location.
So there's a question about if a student lives in towers, do they have to eat in the towers? Absolutely not. Student can eat wherever they would like. We just happen to have, like Maggie mentioned, 2 all you care to eat dining halls. One happens to be in the bottom of the Litchfield Towers, and the second one is on upper campus in Sutherland Hall.
I see a couple questions too about meal exchanges in a day. And that depends on your plan. So with a full access plan, you get 1 meal exchange per day every day that you have to use that day if you want to use it. With the block plans, you can use up to 5 blocks a day, and those can be used however you want. So you can use those to go to the eatery and the perch as a meal swipe or as a meal exchange. So that could be up to 5 a day. The weekly 14, you can use as many meal exchanges as you want on those 14 meals a week. You just have an hour delay between each meal exchange or meal swipe. And then the all day access acts like a full access plan where you would have one a day once you activate your plan.
Then we have a question about if you reach a zero balance of dining dollars. So dining dollars can be reloaded through the Panther Central website, through your students' Pitt porthole, up to $25 increments at a time, at any time during the semester. How does a student keep track of their dining dollar balance? So there is an app that has all of your students' information. So everything is on their phone. Their ID is on their phone, and it will have their meal plan is also on their phone, and it will tell them their balance. It's in their on their Pitt account is all of their information. They can look that up at any time. Did you see anything else, Maggie? Anything new?
No.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time. Again, if there's anyone with incoming first years, we have a specific webinar for incoming first years on July 29th. Emails have come out about it, but we will send additional emails leading up to it. And also Maggie has been sending out to first years email series on what to expect when you come onto campus for dining. So be on the lookout for those as well. And we look forward to seeing everyone in August. Thanks,
Thanks, everyone.
So much. Just a reminder that the recording will be on the Pitt Student Affairs YouTube channel in just a day or two. Thank you.